All right, so everybody knows Little Mermaid and Ariel, the main protagonist, her companions, Sebastian and, well, Flounder and the Jamaican crab named Sebastian, yeah, and the main antagonist, Ursula. But what if we took the story of, not even the story so much, but like the main core of what makes Little Mermaid, but we told that story from a Caribbean perspective, or more not just a Caribbean perspective, but more Jamaican context. What would that look like? But before we do that, I want to kind of give you something to kind of keep in mind. There was this earthquake that happened in 1692 that pretty much decimated a huge part of Port Royal. It caused massive liquefaction of the soil and brought a tsunami that devastated the town, killing thousands. All right, and we're gonna kind of bring this element into the story to kind of tie it into Jamaican history a bit. All right, so yeah, let's get into this. What would Snow White? Sorry, not Snow White. Actually, that's another one. I have an idea of. We'll make a video of that later on also. But for now, we're gonna look at Little Mermaid. All right. So my idea, um, first major idea I want to kind of go over with you here is I have an idea of her locks. So instead of it being just the red hair or in the Haley Bailey movie, she just had like locks. Um, why not make it octopus tentacles? But the octopus tentacles doubles as locks too. So it's kind of tied into the Jamaican context with still keeping the um, living mermaid side. So it, brings that more um, exotic feel, if that makes sense. And if you notice the bandana on her head, you see the gold and the green and the red. Typically, that's more known as the Rastafarian colors. But well, the green and the yellow are more for the Jamaican, but the red that you see here, that's more the Rastafarian colors. But it still kind of ties in to kind of say this is more a Jamaican story than just you know. But I really like the idea of the locks because it's a living thing. Um, to animate it may be a bit tricky and technical, but it kind of reminds me of the mythology with the lady with the snake heads. It kind of reminds me of that kind of thing. It's gonna look something like that, but more flowy in the water. If that makes sense. All right. So let's kind of go into this a bit. So we start off the story with the narrator talking about how um, a long time ago, before the Earth decided to shake up Port Royal. So it's pretty much right before that huge earthquake that pretty much caused the liquefaction and the tsunami. We start our story there, right? And we see this young mermaid named Marina. We see her swimming. We see her singing. So we can still kind of have those elements that makes uh, Little Mermaid still. Maybe she's singing a more reggae version of a song, but still kind of keeping those lighter moods in this, and can kind of explore her hair a bit also. So her hair wasn't just beautiful; it's also alive. Octopus locks, and all right, let me just try to pull over here a bit. Okay, so um, she dreamt of the surface, just like how Ariel dreamt of the surface and was with the what was it? Pelican, I think. Was a pelican? That big bird that she kind of showed the fork to. Trying to get an idea of what those foreign devices, those alien technologies could have actually been. Um, so Marina kind of also has that, want or longing to experience life on the surface. She's actually wondering what life was like above. Ended up meeting a human named Paul, fall in love with a man named Paul, and kind of meeting us in secret. After this, I kind of introduce the big bad, the villain, the antagonist. So her name is Nestor. See which so Nestor is kind of tied into Bob Marley. Um, but oh, and for Little Mermaid, Jamaica. So we can have something like flounder too, but I wanted to make it instead of a flounder, maybe we have like a lionfish instead. And if we decide to like have it be a version of the story, like this could be like a version of the story before Ariel's father gets the trident. Because since it's all the way back in the 1600s, there's been enough time for stuff to change enough to have her father eventually get it, right? Or it could be a case where maybe you have different kingdoms within the mermaid ecosystem, or mermaid, you know, um, mermaid habitats, or what you know what I mean. You could have different places or cities that are different, or different countries within the mermaid sphere, and then now you kind of but I think how Ariel's father described as more the king of the ocean type thing, more like Aquaman-esque type thing with a trident. But that can be worked out, you know. If you have any ideas of how to kind of make that better, but So in the idea though, the trident actually came from the gold in Port Royal. So Port Royal, as one of those cities in those that you know in the 1600s, was actually a real commerce hub for the region, and there was a lot of commerce, there was a lot of gold, there's a lot of trade, there was a lot of pirates too. So even the Pirates of the Caribbean too, Port Royal would have been one of those places, yeah. So it said that to hold the power of the sea itself, until we can explore maybe the power more of the trident. So there's two ways you could do this. It could be like a standalone movie, or it could like be like a series, and it kind of flesh out the characters a bit more and all that. So then we get to the earthquake. So kind of build the story up. So it doesn't have to be like with Ursula with the voice thing. Maybe it's something else that Nesta tried to take from Marina, and we see the earthquake, everything shattering, humans panicked, merfolk knew, because typically they say that the animals know when something big is gonna happen. Marina made a choice. She took the trident to protect her people and the one she loved. She would face whatever came, even turn the sea, even if the sea turned against her. And then we see a legend was born. They say her voice can still be heard on calm nights, and her trident still glows in deepest blue. Alright? So yeah, if you like this idea, or I'm just yapping, I don't know. But yeah, that's the video. And let me know if you like the idea or if I'm just yapping. I also have an idea for um, Snow White, but that's for another video. Let me know what you think of the main topic here down below. And yeah, that's the video.